Kids, today we're going to talk about positivity, and we're going to talk about the difference between a positive outlook and a negative outlook, and how that works out for you. Now, I have to confess that I was inspired to do this video today by two sources. First was my friend Misty Eyes. I watched a couple of her videos recently, and it got my brain thinking. Which is dangerous because whenever I think, oh my God, Lord knows what happens. But the other one, the frosting and the candles on the cake, was my dear friend Ann Coulter, who I love so much. So she is a true gift from the gods, as you shall find out. Anyway, positive and negative. I'm going to try to make this simple and quick, hopefully. Anybody can go with me toe to toe, and we can play who's had the more miserable life, who's had the more horrifying experiences in life. And mine started pre-birth, so I usually have a head start on people. Plus the fact I'm normally close to usually being the oldest one in the room, so I've had more of an opportunity to have the shit kicked out of me. And I'm also much more gullible, and I'm much more open to it because I am basically stupid. So I just put myself in these really weird situations, and it happens. Now, does that mean my whole life is an abject disaster? No, I'm still here. I'm like 1,500 years old, and I'm still here. And not everything in my life has been awful. I've had some wonderful moments too, lots of them. Now, sometimes when I tell a story or two about my life, I get the same reaction, which always puzzles me. And so I want you to think about this next time you do this to somebody. For example, I'll say, oh, I was raped when I was 16 years old. And then I was gang raped again at 18 years old. People will say, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Well, unless you're one of the people that raped me, or if you were praying for me to be raped, then maybe that's an appropriate response if you are truly sorry. But if you had nothing to do with it, why are you sorry? For what? There's no reason to be sorry. It's just part of my life. I don't know any different. So I don't look at it like that. I mean, and there's just, whenever somebody says that to me, I just kind of go, why are you sorry? What did it have to do with you? And I think of it also like this. What did it have to do with me? It made me who I am. I like who I am. I think I'm a great guy. So I don't want anybody apologizing for something I don't think's wrong with me. Does that make sense? It made me who I am. And that and a million other things that happened in my life made me who I am. So I look at life positively. Even if it's really negative, there's a reason for it, and you're going to learn a lesson. Now, getting raped twice, once by a single person and once by a gang, change my outlook on life? Yeah, definitely. But getting raped the first time didn't stop me from getting gang raped the second time. So, I guess I'm kind of dense and I have to bang my head against the wall more than once. And that's happened in other kinds of ways too, etc. Now, that means when someone sits and wants to have a pity party about how horrible their life is, I can sit down and play One Time at Band Camp with you all night long, and I'm always going to win. Truly. But at the end of the day, telling all these stories of woe and horribleness, what are they getting you? Nowhere. Is it fixing anything? No, it's just recalling the past. It's just basically, wine and song. It's nothing else. It's just romancing the past. No matter if you romance it in a horrible way or you romance it in a wonderful way. If you want to romance the past, we can do it all day long. Now, what inspired me was this. And I'm going to use some low-hanging fruit story first. Michael Phelps is a famous Olympic athlete, like one of the most famous athletes ever. And he dazzled us for like 4 Summer Olympics, 3 or 4 Summer Olympics. And he was spectacular. And he was just being the best Michael Phelps he could be. Now, this last Olympics, we heard a lot of chatter before the Olympics about Ryan Lochte and how hard Ryan Lochte was working, how much Ryan Lochte resented Michael Phelps, hated Michael Phelps, wanted to beat Michael Phelps, didn't think Michael Phelps was working hard enough, didn't think Michael Phelps deserved to be on the team, didn't think Michael Phelps this, that, the other thing. And that's all we heard. We didn't really hear about what a wonderful guy Ryan Lochte was, or what Ryan Lochte was doing. What we heard is what Ryan Lochte was thinking negatively about someone else, Michael Phelps. And at the end of the day, although it motivated him to push tires and stuff around his neighborhood in Gainesville, at the end of the day, he lost to Michael Phelps. Because having that negative energy, although it motivated him, will never get you to win. Ever get you to win. Never does. It always fails in the end. Now, we look at something, let's say, like the Tea Party, which 6 years ago shocked me. I couldn't believe people were actually thinking these things in this day and age. And like a snowball, it built up and got worse as it went down the hill, even more extreme. And it became outrageous to me. Now, I'm not perfect. At first, after I got over the fact that it wasn't a colossal joke, I was pissed. And so I used to love to just go out there and just bash at them online and everything else and just carry on. And I finally stopped and I said, okay, well, this is a big waste of energy. It's a big waste of emotion. It's getting me nowhere. I'm sitting here chattering with idiots that aren't listening. And so, why bother? I can go chatter with myself. I'm an idiot. I can go chatter with myself in the mirror and spend less emotional time or less energy hating on somebody because it's not doing them any harm at all. And it was just harming me. So I said, stop, enough. Okay. So then how do I fix that? So I said, well, let's look at this positively. Let's highlight this in a positive way. So the most popular video I ever made on YouTube, and I don't make popular videos, not a lot of people watch me, and I realize that. But the most popular video I ever made was Mitt Romney's Redneck Outreach. And I had well over 1,100 views. And I was so astounded at this because basically I was taking what was in the news and I put it into a character and I just played it. And people didn't know whether I was serious or I was joking or anything. They made horrible comments on both sides, from laugh out loud to I was the most horrible person in the world, and how could any woman love me, etc., 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 etc. And the fact is because I made the odious look wonderful, fantastic. For example, Ann Coulter's been in the news lately attacking Marco Rubio, and I guess she attacked Rush Limbaugh in the process of that too. And she attacked John McCain, and she attacked Lindsey Graham, and she attacked all these people in her own party, apparently the other day, and refused to get on a plane with some black pilot. She's just, she's the queen of negativity. And I love her dearly. She's a gift from the gods. But as opposed to saying bad Ann Coulter, or like some guy made some ridiculous, 47% comment, he's turning it now into a book of how it's really true. Instead of saying that's horrible, I now applaud it. So I'll put it on my Facebook and say, look at this, congratulations, that's so great. Oh my God, wonderful. Keep up the good work. Because, you've only got your asses kicked and handed to you the last 6 elections. So keep up the good work. And that's the way I look at it. If you want to have that kind of, fear and all that kind of crap going on, that negativity, it might generate some excitement on your base, but it really, in the end, never wins. It never wins. And you look at the same thing when you look at famous people. Truly famous people that are lasting, I've never found to be negative. Now, there's some one-hit wonders or some flame-ups and flame-downs that come and go. Some of them are nice, some of them not. I met a lot of these people. But I want to give you a couple of examples of people that I've met that good, bad, and different. Okay. I met Britney Spears in 2000. January 1st, 2000, with Justin Timberlake. I escorted them on a plane, from one plane to a lounge, etc. And I said at the time, Britney Spears has the personality of a damp dish rag. She looks way overwhelmed, and she's a blathering idiot. I mean, she just has nothing to say. Justin Timberlake, on the other hand, was completely charming and seemed to be completely, lucid and aware, and had some substance about him, where Britney didn't at all. Zero. Does that make her a good person or a bad person? I predicted she'd be a train wreck. Take a look at the headlines. She's been a train wreck her whole life. It's pretty simple. You look at somebody like J.J. Walker from Good Times, or that guy that played Radar in MASH. I've met them. They're complete assholes. Complete assholes. That's why their star never came back. They never shined. You don't really think about them anymore. Then you look at somebody like Diana Ross. Absolutely adorable lady. Absolutely adorable. Or you look at somebody that's lasted, even though a lot of people find him really annoying, in a cute way. He is absolutely the most authentic person I know. I absolutely love him, Richard Simmons. I've run into him many times in many different types of forums. I absolutely adore Richard Simmons because he's authentic. And he doesn't have to drag anybody down to be Richard Simmons. He doesn't have to outsparkle, outshine, or anything else. Now, you look at somebody that rose to the top and then crashed and burned and died. And I'll give you an example of one of the most odious people I've ever met in my life, Whitney Houston. Hated her, absolutely hated her. Don't feel bad about saying it now that she's dead. I'd said it when she was alive. She was one of the most odious people in the world, and she dragged a boatload of karma down to hell with her. And I hope she enjoys it. But she was truly a horrible person in life, and I'm sure she's probably a horrible person in death. And I'm not sorry she's gone at all. I don't miss her at all. No. Now, that doesn't mean I'm any better or worse than Whitney Houston. What I'm saying is this. You, like Misty Eyes, my good friend Misty Eyes, she is a very positive, upbeat person. Inside. I've known her for a very, very long time. I know on a personal level. I know on a professional level. On many different levels. I've known Misty for a long time. She doesn't have to tear down anybody else to be her. It doesn't make her any better. Her outlook has always been, I just have to be the best I can be and keep going. No matter how many times they kick me in the face or spit at me or do whatever, I'm not going to let that stop me, and I'm not going to go after them with a negative, hateful message to try to get something and be second place. Misty Eyes is only one thing. The best Misty Eyes can be. Period. She doesn't have to prove anything. She doesn't have to be hating on another drag queen in order to be Misty Eyes. So in other words, like, there were times I remember when I lived in Fort Lauderdale, in the Fort Lauderdale drag scene, where one queen would hate another queen, and it would be like this bitch fight, and then the one that always started the hate always ended up losing, because in the end, if you start on a negative note with negative energy, yeah, you're more aggravated and you're more motivated at first, but in the end, people are going to see that, and then the person that wasn't ends up winning. That's the difference between positive and negative. It's the same thing in your life. You can sit and play "Oh, Poor Me." Great song. Everybody loves "Oh, Poor Me." But what's it doing for you? Certainly not attracting people, unless you like pity mongers. And, who likes that? So look at your life and your experiences, and don't try to compare them to anybody else. Don't try to hate on anybody else or be like somebody else. Be yourself. And if you don't know how to be yourself, start by looking in the mirror. Simple. Cry and look in the mirror once. Get yourself all worked up. Just cry. Then look at yourself in the mirror and ask yourself, how's that working out for me? It's amazing. You can't cry in the mirror if you look at yourself, but don't cut your eyes. Anyway, have a good one.